You're welcome as you join us here in St Eugene's Cathedral Hall in Derry for one of our conversations in Catholic Schools Week 2023, where the emphasis is very much on walking together. And I'm joined this morning by two members of staff from St Colmcille's Primary School in Claudy, just about 10 miles from the city here, out on the road towards Belfast, or off the road towards Belfast, as it is now. We have Michael O'Kane, the principal. Michael, thank you very much for coming along. And Kellie McLaughlin, who's a teacher in the school, who's a parent of children in the school, who looks after music in the school, and who's involved in music in the parish as well. But she says, I'm just a teacher. Michael, tell us a little bit about St Colmcille. Tell us a little bit about the school for those who don't know the area or don't know the school as such. What size are you?
Well, St Colmcille's just situated nearly in the centre of Claudy. We've in around 270 beautiful children. We've got a nursery included in that. 26 children attend that every day. We've quite a large body of staff, a great team that I've inherited from our former principal, Mrs O'Neill. I think we're very active in the community. We link in so much with our parents. We always make sure that our communication is as strong as possible, and we invite parents into the school as much as we can. We're in admissions time at this time of year, so we're always talking positively about the school. But throughout the year, we believe that our children have a very positive experience in St Colmcille's, which is driven forward really by our sort of desire to allow the children to be the best that they can be and to follow the ways of Christ as much as they can.
Yes, obviously faith is an important element in the overall way of looking at life that you want to communicate. But Kellie, you're involved in the parish as well as being involved as a teacher of music in the school and as a parent in the school. Clearly links with the community, as Michael says, are significant in terms of educating young people, forming them, giving them aspirations and so on.
Absolutely. I myself grew up in the parish. I haven't left the school. I attended the school as a student as well. And as Mr. O'Kane said here, with Miss O'Neill beforehand, really instilled those values in me as well, the link with community. Showing children what it's like to give back to the community, the positive side of it. Volunteering in the church, helping out, like the Eucharistic ministers. The children are back doing altar serving now, which is great. They had a huge response, singing in the children's choir, attending the adult choir if they so wish. I just think it's a very positive thing to show our children, especially in this day and age, that giving back is important.
And that's educational as far as you're concerned, as much as literacy and numeracy are. Absolutely. The sense of belonging. Absolutely, yeah. Definitely a sense of belonging. I always felt like I was part of the parish, part of the community. One of the reasons why I wanted to be a teacher, especially locally. I didn't travel too far, but it's always been something growing up. You know, it was always a thing on a Sunday you got up, no matter you were a teenager, a young child, it was you were going to Mass, you were being a part of something, you were speaking to people after Mass, talking about your day, talking about your week, and then bringing that up into the school as well. Father Kane coming to visit, and you know, it was lovely. I suppose that sense of community in many cases, Michael, is taken for granted by people because it's, as you say, Kellie, it's what you grew up with. You just assumed that was normal, but probably not every community or every school is the same. I mean, you're obviously in a very privileged position there in that sense.
Oh, we definitely are. And I suppose with the pandemic, it has shown us not to take anything for granted. But I think with that strong community, particularly in places like Claudy or Finney, Foreglen, Dungiven, with the sort of the church and the school being the centre point of it, particularly during the pandemic, where those things came together, the school and the church, to help as many people as possible and to permeate into the homes, even though we couldn't see each other. You know, that ethos that we have, it's embedded within the school and it's very strong. And I think all our organisations look towards us as a great way of running a community organisation, because of how strong we reach out to our parents and how strongly we feel to ensure that our children get the best opportunities to make them be aware of the challenges that they might occur or they might come across whenever they're adults. While it probably is taken for granted, it's very much woven into what we do every day as a school community, and how we interact in school with outside agencies to ensure we're doing the very best for our children. Also as well, you talked there about how education extends not just to literacy and numeracy, but how people feel, their mental health, and even things like our adoration that we do on Tuesday. We're in the community with other community members, and we're taking that time to connect with God and with Jesus, to reflect on things that we've done and how we can proceed and move forward as well. So definitely it is taken for granted, but it is very strong because, as I say, it's woven in everything we do. We feel miserably every day trying to be like Jesus, but we wake up every day and we continue to try to be like Jesus, even we do feel miserably. And I think that's at the centre of our Catholic ethos.
Yeah, and I suppose the whole sporting links that inevitably pervade the community can be important for those who mightn't be top of the class in terms of literacy or numeracy or musical skills, but who could be stars with a football of one shape or size or colour or whatever. I suppose all of that is educational too, that people have different ways of achieving.
Well, that's it. In St Colmcille we've got our school values, and one of them is unique, and we allow the children the opportunity to develop their own specific talents. Now I'm very much into my Gaelic football and my hurling, and I have to say that with the ever increasing amount of children taking part, they're getting the opportunity to develop teamwork, which is extremely important, and it's something that Jesus has shown us, working with different people to be the best that they can be. And through sport, children really get the opportunity to strive to be the best that they can be, and also learn disappointment. Because in this world we have today, everybody can get anything they want with a tap on their phone. And they can get very frustrated when they don't get what they want. And sport is a great leveler for that, because in my sporting career, I very rarely got what I wanted. At the end of 60 minutes, I usually got what I didn't want.
Yeah.
But it was great to learn and great to think, right, it didn't work today, we'll try again tomorrow. And it's great to instill that in young people at a young age.
Good. I know you're very much involved in the parish too, Kellie, with the whole music ministry. And then Claudy has another thing. You have the Hope Camp in Claudy. Could you tell people who don't know what that is, just how that is part of the educational outreach of the community? Yes,
I've been lucky enough to be part of the celebration masses with the Hope, usually the opening ceremony with yourself, doing a bit of singing and working with the children. But it's just amazing the amount of teenagers and young children that can benefit from that programme.
And what happens during the Hope Camp week?
There's lots of volunteers, young volunteers within the community first off, that will sign up to help. They will give their time teaching the children spiritually about belonging, teaching them about the community, so many different things that they can...
This is a summer camp?
This is a summer camp, yep. So they'll take their time out in the summer. I think it goes on, is it for a couple of weeks, a week or two? It's just brilliant. It's just the response from it has been amazing in our community, and every year I think the numbers are just growing and growing. I think there was over 200 at the last one, and it's just so hard to get their child's name down, people were saying.
And for what age group?
I think it's from, young teenagers,
yes,
9 to 16, yeah, we're around about that.
And then you have older young teenagers helping to be group
yep,
leaders.
17, 18-year-olds helping, using their skills, could be their football skills, could be their music skills, and taking their time out to pass those on to the younger children in our community.
It's a huge commitment by a community to say we want the best for all of our children, whether it involves music or sport or faith or fun or belonging or helping children to cope with, as the principal says, as Michael says, with maybe tragedies or disappointments or loss. And every community has difficulties as well.
Absolutely, and I witnessed while I was doing part of the Hope programme that there is different organisations that were coming out to help children deal with things like that, and teaching them in so many different ways to make them understand and cope with grief or tragedies or disappointment in their lives. It was very interesting.
I mean, by the sound of things, you're looking to give children a pride in who they are. Because Claudy's had its difficulties, it had its divisions, had its tragedies during the Troubles and so on. I'm assuming all of this, you want to contribute to a united community rather than just contribute to dividing your community. How are things in the village and the community?
Well, just there last summer, we had the 50th anniversary of the Claudy bombing, and both schools worked together to create a very impressive piece of artwork, which was presented to the community during the summer. And the children were working alongside each other, as if they were in class every day, through shared education, through different activities in the past. Both schools in Claudy, and all three schools, work very closely together to ensure that there are positive relationships, and recognising each other's, contribution to the community. Even in our school as well, children in both schools share the bus in the morning and in the evening, and they chat away and they discuss usually the football at the weekend. Hopefully in the future discussing how Manchester United are doing well. So those sorts of things are happening every day. They live amongst each other as well in the village. But as well, our school values sort of centre around the sort of word or name Claudy. And Claudy is a well-known area. And the school values that we have that centre around Claudy, Christ-like learning, achieving unique determination, and you for being the best you can be. Those are values that that should underpin everybody's sort of value system as such.
And you're saying that diversity of provision and celebration of diverse identities actually leads to an enrichment for people rather than to confrontation between people.
Yep, well that's it. We regularly meet our shared education partners and we discuss, not so much hard-hitting issues, but we discuss our differences and we celebrate those differences. And really, whenever children sit down and look at each other, they really realise that we're just the same. Yes, we're trying our best. Yeah. We're following, the guidance of our elders as such to be the best that we can be. We may wear a different colour on our jumper, but apart from that, we're just the same, and we learn to live with each other and work with each other.
Yes, some could support Manchester United, some could support Manchester City. I mean, there's those big differences that have to be coped with.
Sometimes they're a bit harder to overcome, but we get there, so we do. So.
Michael mentioned the three schools. Obviously, having a post-primary school in the village is important too. So that the transition can be remarkably easy for young people moving from one to the other. Is there collaboration with the post-primary provision in the town as well?
Oh, it's fantastic. Having put 4 children through it myself, I would definitely agree that there's a good transition programme in place. And within the visiting post-primary, going through to the secondary schools, there's a great relationship there. They work together in many different programmes. They celebrate masses together. They would celebrate the Christmas carol service and things together, and there's definitely a great relationship between the two.
Mm-hmm. And obviously the two schools, at least the two maintained schools there, between you have the 3 Irish national patron saints. You have St Colmcille, you have St Patrick, and you have St Bridget. So I presume there's a sense of history as well, and connectedness with the past, and a sense of belonging to a long line of people who seek to follow Christ, who seek to believe in the gospel, who seek to be a real blessing on their community.
Well, we've, as you know, the 1500th anniversary of St Colmcille has occurred over the last couple of years, and that was very much the centre point of our school, where we created this digital book that the children created with videos and artwork and digital content. And we were then able to create that and send it out to the world through the Apple bookstore, so everybody with an iPhone could download that book for free. And it really gave the opportunity for our children to be authors of that content. And it got as far as Rome as well. We got a few letters and emails from the I think it's the Irish consulate out there. They got hold of it and they were trying to show it. I don't know if it got as far as Pope Francis or not, but we like to tell people it did. But no, St Colmcille, in terms of his example, is very much prevalent in our school. We've got our St Colmcille prayer, which we say every morning. We also have our school hymn, which is Dove of the Church, which a few of our former teachers have got the opportunity to sort of rework to sort of align with our school values. So the children sing it very regularly at our school celebrations as such. We've got St Bridget's Day coming up now in the next few days, and we've got a grandparents' assembly as part of that as well. So this is our first grandparents' assembly since the pandemic, and we absolutely can't wait to have as much as the community in the school as possible.
I suppose that's one thing that we've all learned from the pandemic. Yes, we could find other ways of communicating online, the iBook, all this digital stuff, and yet being together, you can't replace that, because education is not just about passing on reading skills or numeracy skills, or it's a sense of I hear a real sense of belonging. Music's important as well, Kellie, as a language for communicating and celebrating.
Yeah, well, as Michael says, in school we celebrate morning prayer assemblies where the children come together and we sing as a whole school, maybe every morning a morning prayer or on a Monday and a Friday assembly. One of the songs that the children love is the community song. It's me, it's you, it's us that build our community, and that really is the pillar.
And it's full of actions as well.
The actions as well, yes. And it was a song I actually learnt myself at one of the RE, the one that was on in August. The RE convention for the teachers, it was where I learnt that song. It was great, so the children love it.
Okay, I think we're getting to the end of our time here. You put so much stuff into that. I have a real sense of a school that's part of a community, that wants to work with all the other parties in the community, sporting, parish, post-primary school, and then the control school as well in the village, to ensure that everybody can flourish and blossom and have a sense of achievement and pride in who they are. If we can have that sense of identity, that sense of celebration, that sense of hope for the future, then, as you say, all sorts of disappointments can be faced, and children can face the future. Kellie, thank you very much. Michael, thank you so much for coming, giving your time, sharing your testimony here. We have so much to offer to healthy communities in which young people can thrive, and thank you for all that you're doing in Claudy and the wider community. God bless you, and thank you for being here with us today. I hope you were able to get some insights into one small school, or one relatively small school, 270 pupils in one country village, and that sense of belonging and community that's part of what we're trying to offer in our Catholic education system, which builds bridges with others, doesn't build walls against them. Thank you for joining us. Walk on. God bless you.